I'm Johan Rashi Vega here from our studios in Holyoke Media and Welcome Plaza. And we are here with Charlie Diamond, one of the performers, singer-songwriters who will be part of an event that Holyoke Media will be hosting, Men with a Jam, as part of the series of concerts by New Music Alliance. Charlie, thank you for being here with us. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your music, how you can present it for the public, being a singer, songwriter. What can you tell us about your music?
Yeah, so I pretty much have like a punk rock background. But during COVID, I started driving around and exploring a lot with my dog and my pickup truck. I like seeing all these little towns and people watching, meet new people. And a lot of folk music started coming on the radio, and it really resonated with me and it really stuck with me, and I vibe with it like at this point in my life. The storytelling and the deep emotions and whatnot. So I just kind of got into maybe 2 years ago. I got into writing folk songs and playing harmonica. And a lot of the stuff I write is about the places I've been or the people that I meet. But I also have an overly active imagination. So a lot of the stuff just pops out of my head late at night between like midnight and 2 a.m. But yeah, like you were saying, my main area that I drive around and play is New England. But I go all the way from Burlington, Vermont. I've been down to Virginia and the Carolinas, and I played all over the country. Um, but getting out there and playing live and meeting people, I feel like it's an awesome way to connect with people, hear their stories, and just expand life and get the most out of it.
So, exploring from punk rock and then transitioning into folk, and there is so many connections in between. What will be some of those influences that punk were and still are part of your music or your inspiration that then also became part of those stories? Because punk also is a lot of storytelling just from a different perspective and specific emotional state. So how this music genres and music influences got you into that? Who could be some artists, groups that got you into this?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because there is such like a correlation between like punk and folk. It's funny when you actually like sit down and think about it. But just sort of earlier stuff like the Ramones. I love like that fast paced, quick, lots of energy. But I also love sort of late '70s David Bowie, kind of glam rockish, but definitely has like a punk feel to it. And that stuff kind of pops out in my like my live shows, and the punk chord progressions pop out in my songs. And then as I was driving around and getting into the folk, it was mostly the older folk stuff, which is like Arlo Guthrie, Pete Seeger, and Bob Dylan, and Judy Collins, and Joan Baez. That stuff started popping on. But I also love Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley. So all this stuff kind of pops out. When I was little, I grew up on like the Beatles and the Beach Boys and Jimi Hendrix. So that sort of nostalgic feel, I felt I was always tied to that like time period, and I don't know. I think maybe that stuff comes out in the songs. Yeah,
Yeah, and definitely nothing, no one more punk than Johnny Cash for sure.
yeah, right, yeah. Punk is like I view it as a culture and a way of life. It's more than just a music. And yeah, Johnny Cash, getting arrested, being a rebel, stuff like that. Like which I wouldn't condone to anybody, but getting arrested. But yeah, it's just such an awesome vibe when you see someone that has that. A little bit of danger to them.
And matter of fact, this interesting way to connect the influences of punk with folk and storytelling into music that may not always seem to be getting along. Well, not necessarily get along, but to merge. And you have done it, and multiple times coming together to play with other singer songwriters, and all of a sudden creating this impromptu and spontaneous way to perform and create new versions and renditions of songs that may have sound different, but definitely capture that essence of punk energy, but also the inspirational thoughts and deep stories from folk.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's cool that you see that and you have the the insight into it. But yeah, that's definitely an ingredient to like my songs and whatnot. It's not really something that I specifically sit down and work on. It just kind of comes out from who I am and my experiences in life. And like I said, people that I've met and little adventures that I've had. But yeah.
Your music career has produced a lot of recordings, and you have a number of albums and productions. What is right now some of the most outstanding or relevant that you can consider represents your work currently, or that maybe from early years that you feel this one defined my sound today?
Oh well, I just did a new album this year called "A New Poet in Town," and I did that with Tracy Walton at On Deck Studios in Northfield, Connecticut. So that's in terms of newest work, most relevant. There's a song on there called "Electric Lady Dreams," which is my favorite song I've ever written, and it's I would say it's the essence of my soul. If I could reach inside to my heart and pull all that color out and hand it to everyone in the audience, it would be that song. Yeah. I also have a song off the first album I did. I only have two folk albums. I've only done two albums in 2 years. Um, the first one was called "From One Place to the Next," and there's a really cool song on there called "A Change Is Coming." And it's funny because I wrote it during COVID, not specifically about COVID, um, but that one seems to always be prevalent with stuff that's going on in my life. Life's about change, right? We're always evolving and growing and going in different directions.
So you are part of the event Men with a Jam, which is produced and created by New Music Alliance. How this collaboration or this involvement with New Music Alliance took place?
So New Music Alliance, the organization, obviously they promote sort of local artists within Mass and Western Mass, New England. They have a conglomerate of like radio stations that they play music on and work with. And my music, I was just getting played on some of their stations, and I think that's just sort of how I popped up on their radar. And then they were considering artists for this upcoming event, which is August 25th. And I guess, my name popped up. They liked the storytelling. They liked the energy. I always say I'm like lightning in a bottle. When I get on stage, um, you're gonna get something. You're gonna see something interesting and really enjoy the show. So it just sort of came together. And it's funny because Dylan Patrick Ward, who is one of the three other people, um, I've bumped into him before on Gig Road, just playing shows, way like maybe a year and a half ago, way before New Music Alliance was even on the radar. And that's what's just so great about music. When you're out on the road, you just bump into these awesome people and you make new friends. And who would have known we'd be playing a show together down the line? But it's such an awesome thing, and the other guys too are like awesome and great artists. So I'm just looking forward to the show and playing, and I'm looking forward to hearing what they're gonna play as well.
So this is a perfect opportunity to continue growing those connections and those interactions. And you never know when those also can lead to new productions or new ideas and collaborations. So a great opportunity to enjoy of all of that with this event, Men with a Jam. And how can people can get to follow you, to get to know more about your music, your coming shows and presentations?
Yeah, the latest news and music and tour and merchandise you can find on my website, which is it's just charliediamondmusic.net. And there's CDs for sale up there and stickers. And then if you want to follow me on social media, I'm most active on Instagram, which is just charlie.diamond.music. And but if you hit up either the website or Instagram, like I said, you'll get the latest news and you'll be able to see what I'm up to. And I try and stay in touch with people, and I like hearing their stories and interacting and talking.
Perfect. Anything else you would like to add, Charlie?
Um, I just keep hearing so much about the new media center, and how, what a great theater and listening room it is. And I love playing listening rooms. That's pretty much specifically what I look for and play. So I'm just really excited for the show on the 25th. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie. We look forward to seeing you here and to enjoy of your music and have a great time listening to Men with a Jam. That is definitely going to be another beautiful experience that once again makes music bringing us all together.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.